All right, let's dive in. Today we're going underground, exploring the fascinating world of mycorrhizal networks. Trees, the silent giants. Are they really as quiet as we think?
Not quite. Prepare to have your mind blown.
I'm ready. Our guide for this journey is Chapter 4 of Roots of Complexity.
Aptly titled, wouldn't you say? We're going deep into how these mycorrhizal fungi create this intricate network.
Chapter 4. Sounds intense. So break it down for me. Mycorrhizal fungi, what are they? What's the big deal?
Well, think fungus root. That's what mycorrhiza means. It's all about this symbiotic relationship between fungi and, you guessed it, plant roots. Imagine the fungi as extensions of the tree's root system.
Like tiny little scouts venturing out.
Exactly, searching for water and nutrients. And here's the kicker. Almost all trees on Earth team up with these fungi. It's like a massive hidden society right beneath our feet.
Wow. A whole underground world we barely even notice. So the trees are getting a serious root system upgrade thanks to these fungi. But what do the fungi get out of it?
Good question. It's a two-way street, of course. Trees pay rent, you could say. They provide sugars, those energy-packed goodies they make through photosynthesis.
Ah, the miracle of photosynthesis. Sunlight, carbon dioxide, water, boom. Sugars and oxygen.
Precisely. And those sugars are like a feast for the fungi. It's their fuel. And in return, those fungi use their amazing network of hyphae, these thread-like structures, to mine the soil for resources the trees can't reach on their own.
So it's a barter system. Sugars for water and nutrients.
Yeah.
Pretty ingenious. But hold on, are we talking about just one kind of fungi here, or are there different players in this underground game?
Oh, it gets even more interesting. Our handbook dives into two main types of mycorrhiza. First up, ectomycorrhiza. Think pines and oaks, those sturdy trees. Ectomycorrhizae form sheaths around their root tips.
Like tiny protectors?
You got it. Shielding those delicate root tips. Now, the other type are arbuscular mycorrhizae. These guys are more up close and personal.
Yeah.
They actually penetrate the root cells themselves, a more intimate connection, you might say. You'll find these in a wider variety of trees and plants.
Fascinating. So we've got our protectors and our more, shall we say, intertwined partners. Two very different approaches to the same partnership.
Exactly. And regardless of their style, these connections, whether they're hugging the root tips or going deeper, create this incredibly complex web that spreads throughout the forest floor. And get this, it's not limited to one tree or even one species.
So it's like a giant social network connecting trees of all shapes and sizes. It's blowing my mind.
Yeah.
But how does this resource exchange actually play out? We talked about the sugars for nutrients deal, but what does that look like in action?
Okay, picture this. The trees, through photosynthesis, they're churning out sugars, their primary energy source.
Right, their fuel.
And those sugars, pure gold to the fungi. They provide the energy those fungi need to grow and do their thing. In return, the fungi, with their vast network of those thread-like hyphae, they explore the soil, tapping into resources way beyond the reach of those tree roots.
So it's like they're mining for treasure, bringing back these valuable resources to the trees. Incredible, this constant flow back and forth. It's amazing.
And incredibly efficient. These fungi, they're particularly good at finding those essential nutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus, things often in short supply in the soil.
Ah, the building blocks of life, essential for growth. It's amazing how these fungi can unlock those nutrients. But I have to ask, is this just a two-way street, or are there other beneficiaries to this whole partnership?
There's a much bigger picture here. We're talking about the health of the entire forest ecosystem, soil health, nutrient cycling, even carbon storage. All these crucial processes are deeply intertwined with these underground networks.
Okay, you've got me hooked. Tell me more about this bigger picture. How do these tiny fungi have such a huge impact on the entire forest?
It's about the big picture, right? Think of those mycorrhizal fungi as the forest's master recyclers. They're breaking down all that organic matter, leaves, dead wood, the works.
Ah, so they're cleaning up the forest floor, turning waste into valuable resources.
You got it. It's like nature's composting system, breaking everything down, those complex materials, into simpler compounds, plant food, basically.
So nothing goes to waste. It's this beautiful loop.
Yeah.
Trees grow, shed their leaves, fungi get to work, and boom, nutrients for more growth.
Precisely. A continuous cycle, essential for a healthy, thriving forest. Without these fungi, those nutrients, locked up, unusable.
Right, stuck in that dead matter. Okay, so they're boosting the soil's fertility. But you also mentioned soil structure. What's the story there?
Well, healthy soil, it's like a sponge, porous, Water can easily soak in, air can circulate, that's good soil structure. And these fungi, they're key to creating that sponginess.
Soil is a sponge. Interesting. But how do these tiny fungi play a role in that?
Those thread-like hyphae, remember? They act like tiny threads, weaving through the soil, binding those soil particles together. That's what creates the structure more stable, less prone to erosion, you see.
Well, thanks to those fungi, rainwater soaks in, the soil stays put. Amazing. Tiny organisms, huge impact.
Exactly. It's a testament to the power of, well, connections, those unseen forces shaping our world. And speaking of connections, did you know these mycorrhizal networks can actually help trees communicate?
Wait, hold on. Trees actually talking to each other through these fungal networks? Now that's getting seriously sci-fi.
Yeah.
How is that even possible?
Imagine it like an underground internet, connecting those trees across vast distances. They can share information, nutrient availability, drought stress, even insect attacks.
So it's like sending messages, hey neighbor, watch out for those pesky bugs.
Exactly. And what's amazing is that other trees nearby, even different species, they can pick up those signals and react.
They're eavesdropping on each other. Incredible. What kind of reactions are we talking about?
Well, think defense. Some trees, they might start producing defensive compounds in their leaves, making themselves less tasty to those attackers. Others might release different signals, attracting beneficial insects, the good guys, the ones that prey on those pests.
It's like a forest-wide alarm system. They're looking out for each other, sharing intel. That's amazing. And all this is happening silently through the air.
It's this hidden world, right? We're only starting to understand it. And it's not just about defense. Trees can also share information about resources, like, say, a tree's feeling the drought stress.
Sending out an SOS, like, water's running low over here, guys.
Exactly. And that signal, it alerts the neighbors. Time to start conserving water, prepare for those tough times.
Wow, it's like they're all in this together, helping each other through the challenges. Real teamwork. But going back to that bigger picture, you mentioned the impact on the whole forest. You said soil health. How does that all connect?
Well, think about it. A thriving forest needs healthy soil. And those mycorrhizal fungi, they're essential for that.
I'm all ears. Tell me more.
First off, they're nature's recyclers. They break down all that organic matter on the forest floor, those falling leaves, dead wood, even the remains of, well, everything.
Cleaning up the forest floor, but it's more than just tidying up, right?
Oh, it's way more than tidying. They're transforming that organic matter into valuable nutrients that plants can use. It's nature's composting system, turning complex stuff into, well, plant food.
So taking waste and making it into fuel for growth, it's like this closed loop. Nothing wasted.
You got it. And that decomposition, that release of nutrients, it's vital for the long-term health, the productivity of the whole forest.
That makes perfect sense. They're making the soil more fertile. But you also mentioned soil structure. Yep. What exactly did you mean by that?
Think of it this way. Healthy soil, it's like a sponge. It's porous with lots of air spaces. That means water can soak in, roots can breathe.
Right, so good soil structure means good drainage, good aeration. But how do these tiny fungi play a part in that?
They're hyphae, those thread-like structures. They weave through the soil, binding those soil particles together. It's like they're creating this stable structure, more resistant to erosion, compaction, you name it.
So like they're tiny engineers reinforcing the soil. That's amazing.
It is remarkable. They're creating this stable environment, helping those plant roots grow and thrive. And that improved soil structure, it benefits everyone, you see. Better water infiltration, less runoff protecting waterways, preventing soil loss.
Wow, it's all connected. You pull on one thread and you realize it's connected to this whole tapestry. We started with these tiny fungal networks, and now we're talking about the health of the entire forest.
Exactly. And that knowledge, it should inform how we manage our lands. We need to be mindful of the impact our actions have on these delicate networks.
Absolutely. We can't just focus on what we see above ground. We have to remember that hidden world beneath our feet, the vital role these mycorrhizal networks play.
Protecting them isn't just about preserving biodiversity. It's about safeguarding those essential services they provide for the whole ecosystem.
Well, this has been eye-opening. To think, those seemingly quiet trees, they're actually active participants in this complex web of communication, supporting each other, adapting, ensuring the health of the whole forest.
And we've only just scratched the surface. There's so much more to learn about these networks, the secrets they hold.
It makes you wonder what other mysteries are out there just waiting to be uncovered. Welcome back. We've been on this incredible journey exploring the hidden world of trees, those mycorrhizal networks, those fungal highways beneath our feet. But you hinted there's even more to this story.
There's always more to uncover, isn't there? Trees, they don't just communicate underground, they also use the air, sending signals through chemicals called volatile organic compounds.
VOCs, like scents. Are trees sending each other perfume signals?
In a way, yes, but these aren't just any random smells, they carry information. Think of a tree under attack by insects, say, or a disease. It releases specific VOCs into the air.
This is like a distress signal. Help, I'm under attack.
Precisely. And other trees nearby, even different species, they can pick up on those signals and respond.
So they're eavesdropping on each other. That's incredible. How do they respond?
Well, some might start producing defensive compounds in their leaves, make themselves less appealing to those attackers. Others might release different VOCs, ones that attract beneficial insects, the predators that'll take care of those pests.
It's like a forest-wide security system. They're warning each other, coordinating their defenses. And we had no idea this was happening right under our noses.
It's a hidden world we're just starting to understand, and it's not just about defense. Trees use these VOCs to share information about resources, too. Imagine a tree struggling with drought stress.
It sends out a message, water's getting scarce over here.
Exactly. That signal can alert the neighbors. Time to conserve, prepare for those tough times.
Wow, they really do look out for each other. But you also mentioned something even more mind-boggling, electrical signals. Trees have like an internal wiring system.
They do. Trees have these specialized cells that can actually transmit electrical signals throughout their tissues.
Okay, now that is seriously sci-fi. How does that even work?
It's still a bit of a mystery, an area of active research, but scientists think these signals help coordinate the tree's responses to, well, everything.
So like if a branch gets damaged or the temperature changes.
Exactly. These signals might help regulate growth, how resources are allocated, even defense mechanisms. It's like an internal communication network, helping the tree respond quickly and efficiently to whatever's going on.
So we got underground networks, airborne signals, and now electrical impulses.
Yeah.
It's like this whole symphony of communication happening in the forest.
It really highlights the complexity of nature, how everything's interconnected. Trees, these seemingly silent giants, our understanding of them is just scratching the surface.
This whole deep dive has been mind-blowing. Trees aren't just these solitary individuals. They're active participants in this complex web of communication, supporting each other, adapting to their environment, ensuring the health of the entire forest. It's a beautiful reminder that we're all connected.
Well said. And as we wrap up our exploration, remember this. We've only just begun to uncover the secrets of the natural world. There's so much more to learn about the language of trees, the ways they interact with their environment.
It's humbling, isn't it? So next time you're walking through a forest, take a moment to really listen. You might not hear words, but if you pay close attention, you might just sense that silent symphony of communication happening all around you. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the hidden world of trees.